Hello and welcome to the guide on how to collect all of the preseason intel on D.I.E Machine. There are 59 pieces of intel to collect in the preseason. I do predict that more intel will be added to the map in Season 1. I'm not sure if the preseason intel will be unobtainable after the drop of Season 1, so make sure you get all of this intel before December 10th. How this is going to be set out, I'm going to be talking you through all of the intel that you can collect on the map, and then after the random drops also. Everything will be timestamped in the description, so if you need a specific piece of intel, go down to the description, click on that timestamp, and you'll be taken straight to the part of the video where I'm describing how to obtain it. Starting with the Requiem intel. The first audio log, called The Incident, can be found in the power button room. Just to the left, next to the power button, will be a massive audio player. Go over to it and hit use to collect this intel. The second, called Parallel World, can be found in the Dark Aether. Go over to where the Pack-a-Punch is. Facing the Pack-a-Punch, turn 180 degrees. Walk slowly up the stairs and you will find a prompt to collect the intel. The radio transmissions can be obtained by going to the top of the spiral staircase in Nacht. Head over to the table where there's a radio with the word Requiem written on it and hit use. There are 7 radio transmissions. You can only do this once per game, so you will need to play at least 7 games to obtain all 7 radio transmissions. The intel for the Requiem artifacts can be obtained by doing the main quest Easter egg. We do have a video already on that Easter egg on the channel already, so if you want to find an easy to do guide on how to do the Easter egg, then please go and watch that. The first artifact is the D.I.E remote control. You can obtain this by killing the first megaton that spawns, killing both splits, and the second split will drop a keycard. Take this keycard down to the nuke room. There will be a weapons testing machine in the corner. Input the keycard and you will receive the D.I.E remote control. The second artifact is the D.I.E Machine. You can obtain this by taking the remote control that you just got back up to Nakda and Toten. Run a train in Yard, killing 0 zombies. Walk into Nacht and activate the D.I.E Machine that is in the small generator room that you can activate through the broken wall. Wait for the D.I.E Machine to get a few kills. You'll then receive a voice line saying that it is ready to be shot. Head back over to the broken wall, activate the D.I.E Machine, and it will blow the reinforced door off its hinges. You can now collect the artifact, which is the D.I.E Machine, and get a free D.I.E as well. The next artifact is the Aetherscope. To craft it, you'll need to head over to the portal that spawns after building Pack-a-Punch. Now there are 3 locations for this portal to spawn. Depending on which portal spawns, it decides where the location of the first Aetherscope part is located. So if the portal spawns in Pond, the first part will be on the top of the plain body. If the portal spawns at the top of Nacht, the first part will be in Yard, just below the stairs. And if the portal spawns in the power button room, the first part will be behind the Aether tunnel in the Pack-a-Punch room. Now the second part, you'll just have to check the other 2 locations, and then the third and final part will be the last location you haven't checked. Once you have all 3 parts, you'll be backed out into the real world. You can go to the workbench just below Pack-a-Punch, build the Aetherscope, and collect it. The fourth artifact is Dr. Vogel's diary. Once you've collected the Aetherscope, a portal will spawn in Medbay. Use this portal and go over to the computer. The diary will be located next to the computer. Pick it up to unlock this intel. The last Requiem artifact is the Decontamination Agent. Going through the main quest Easter egg, you'll find yourself collecting a Dark Aether wrench, going to spawn, tapping on the tank in spawn 3 times, killing the zombie that pops out, and applying an explosive to the hatch. Once the explosive has exploded, the tank will then fire, knocking the Decontamination Agent out of the tree in Crash Site. Head over to Crash Site and pick up the Decontamination Agent to unlock that intel. I'm going to skip over the documents for now, as I will bunch them in at the end of the video. Onto the Omega audio logs. The first audio log is the 8th Guard's first contact. This can be found just outside the bunker doors. If you enter the tunnel via crash site, it'll just be on the left, next to a wooden pallet. If you enter the tunnel via pond, it will be just beyond the doors on the right hand side, again next to the wooden pallet. The second is called the Volunteer. You will need to use the Aether tunnel in crash site. This will teleport you down to medbay where you can find a pack-a-punch part. Just in the corner will be the Omega audio log. The third log is called For Mother Russia. Again, if you use the Aether tunnel in pond this time, you'll be teleported down to the nuke room. Just in the corner you'll find the audio log. To find the Omega artifact, this is called Orlov's family photo, and it's the last part of the main Easter egg. Once you've got a split megaton into the D.I.E Machine and activated the lockdown, you can make your way to Nacht, enter the Dark Aether portal and go into the box room. On the right hand side will be a spectre. Activate this spectre and listen to Orlov's speech regarding his family. After he is finished, you will be automatically backed out of the Dark Aether into the real world. The family photo will be dropped, and you can now pick this up. Be careful, as this initiates the final boss fight. Like the Requiem documents, I'll leave the Omega documents until the end, but now we move on to the Maxis audio logs. The first audio log is called Cold War Paranoia and can be found on the couch in the bottom of Nagda and Toten. From spawn, if you enter the door that's got the giant bunny rabbit on it, just in front of you will be a couch. On the right hand side of that couch will be the audio tape. The second Maxis log is called Game Changer. This can be found once you get the D.I.E Machine and you shoot the crate on top of Nacht to get the flask. Out of the crate drops an audio tape. Collect this tape along with the flask to get the Game Changer audio log. The third and final audio log is called the VHS Tape. This can be acquired by using the D.I.E Wonder Weapon again, sucking the empty canister that is on the second floor of Nagda and Toten. When the canister flies over the little broken wall, you can now collect this, and the audio tape will appear on the broken pillar in front of you. The Maxis radios are like the Requiem radios. You can find the location to acquire these in pond in the back left. You can only get one of these per game, but you only need 3 of these Maxis radios. The Maxis documents I'll leave till the end, and I'll bunch them all up with the Omega documents and the Requiem documents. The Dark Aether artifacts can all be obtained by doing the main Easter egg. The first artifact is called Mutated Fungus. You can get this by having either Mayak or a megaton shoot the fungus on a tree that is just outside of Nacht. The fungus will then turn purple. You can then apply the flask that you obtained earlier to this fungus, wait roughly 30 to 60 seconds. The flask will now be full. You can then acquire the flask for the Mutated Fungus artifact. The second is called Plaguehound Gas. You can get this by taking the canister that you acquired earlier to the nuke room. Underneath the nuke down the corridor from Deadshot Daiquiri, you'll find an empty canister. Kill a Plaguehound near this canister and it will suck up its Nova gas. Once this is done, go back to the container and apply the canister underneath the container. It will fill the canister, pick up the canister, and you'll now have the Plaguehound Gas artifact. The third artifact is called Dark Aether Crystal, and you can get this by doing the Electric Wonder Weapon upgrade. So for this upgrade, there'll be 3 crystals on the map that are glowing orange. There is one in the pond area, one in the crash site, and one at the top of Nagda and Toten. These only glow orange when you enter the portal that's below Pack-a-Punch. Now, this upgrade's a little bit tricky. I do recommend that you have a plan in your head where you want to go. My strategy is to go through the Aether tunnel that's in the Pack-a-Punch room, so that I get teleported to the bottom of Nagda and Toten, run to the top, suck the energy out of the crystal, make my way back down to the Aether tunnel, go through, shoot it into the box that is in the back right corner on the first floor, go through the Aether tunnel in Medbay, run to the second crystal, suck the energy out of that crystal, go back down to the Aether tunnel, then shoot that energy into the box, and then third and finally going into the nuke room, again going through the Aether tunnel, sucking the energy out of the crystal in pond, but this time you won't have a chance to get back through the Aether tunnel, it'll back you out into the real world. This is fine as you'll be able to shoot the energy into the box. It doesn't despawn whilst you're not in the Dark Aether, so you're fine. The fourth and final Dark Aether artifact is called the Dark Aether Wrench. In the main Easter egg, once you've shot all 4 capacitors with the 4 upgrades, a Dark Aether portal will spawn at the bottom of Medbay. Use this portal and make your way up to the top of Medbay where there'll now be a Spectre. Interact with the Spectre and have the cutscene play out. Once it has finished, it will back you out back into the real world, where a Dark Aether Wrench will now be in place of that Spectre. Pick it up and acquire the last artifact. The Dark Aether audio logs and documents can all be obtained by doing trials. There are 2 types of trial. The first trial will just get you a reward and can be identified by a treasure chest on the screen. The second type will be an intel trial. This can be identified by a folder on the screen. There aren't different trials for the different types, they're all the same trials. Interact with the computer and do the trials until you'll find a folder on the screen. Initiate and complete this trial to collect intel. The type of intel that you collect is also shown on the screen. It'll either be a book signifying a document's intel, or it'll be a cassette tape signifying an audio log. There are 18 types of intel that you need to collect from the trials computer, so I do recommend that you grind this out over multiple games. Last is the documents for Omega, Requiem and Maxis. There are 13 documents, and all of these documents will be dropped by killing a split megaton. It doesn't matter if it's the first split or the second split, both have a chance to drop intel. I recommend either trying high rounds with an upgraded D.I.E or a pack-a-punched ray gun, or you can get to round 31, exit your game and start another. You'll roughly get 5 to 7 megatons that spawn by round 31. So that's roughly 10 to 13 chances of getting a document dropped. And that wraps up all of the pre-season intel for the map D.I.E Machine. As I said at the start, you'll probably need to collect this before December 10th. It is a theory that the pre-season intel will be unobtainable after the first season has dropped, so make sure you get all of this intel before December 10th. If there is a guide that you do want creating, please let us know and we will try and get that out for you. That's all from me today. I'll see you guys in the next one.